Have you ever bought a car before?
I bought it for my parents.
From your parents?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about buying cars or talking to car salesmen?
I've gone with them to, yeah, when we were doing that in high
Okay.
school or in college.
When you look at a car salesman, what are the reputations that they have? Like, how do people view them, like, morally?
Sleazy.
Yeah.
They'll say anything.
Yeah.
Surface level charm, snake oil salesman.
Absolutely. When you watch a car salesman interact with a customer, what do they look like?
Sleazy?
Do they?
I don't know. I don't have much experience with it. I mean, I'm assuming like you can have false charm. I've talked to people who, you know,
Yeah. They're
are
salesmen,
like
right?
salesmen. Yeah,
Yeah. They don't come off as sleazy. They come off as honest. They come off that they try to come off as honest,
correct.
personable,
Correct.
funny, understanding, caring, right? If I were to go to a Honda dealership and I wanted to buy a car, would I trust that salesman to tell me the pros and cons accurately of having a Honda?
It's probably not.
Probably not, right?
But maybe, I don't know, because you could argue that the most effective sales tactic is to be honest with someone.
Do you
There are
think
good
that's true though?
salespeople.
If that was true, would salesmen have the a
Well,
commission-based job? Would they have the
I see.
reputation of being
Yeah, I see what
slanderous?
you're saying. I like low level sales. That's less likely to be the case. It's just volume.
Or anywhere? Because you said yourself, right, that politicians are like have to lie, right? That was your own
Yeah, which I'm surprised
analysis, right?
I'm surprised you disagree with.
Sure. Oh, there's varying degrees, but that's not relevant. But I'm just saying you think that.
Okay.
So a car salesman, it's a commission-based job, right? So chances are people are going to emulate the best tactics. Lying to some extent, right? Probably is good. So we agree we probably don't trust the Honda salesman to give us the best drawbacks of the Honda cars, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the level 1 idiot would tell you, well, he's a salesman, he knows everything. He's going to give us the pros and cons, right? Level 2 might say, okay, well, I don't trust the Honda salesman. I'm going to go get more opinions. And let's say that he goes across the street to the Ford salesman. Do you think that the Ford salesman is going to give you an accurate cons to driving a Honda?
No, he'll probably over exaggerate.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's playing the same game, he's just on a different team.
Yes. So you go to the Carfax. You say, "Show me the Carfax."
Correct.
Incentive removed.
Yes. So the issue that I have when people are like they're centrist and they listen to a bunch of different media, why would I think that a person could give me the pros and cons of any vehicle just because they've spoken to a different car salesman? I wouldn't expect you to know anything about the negatives of driving a Honda just because you spoke to somebody trying to sell you a Ford. Obviously, he's going to be over exaggerating everything there, and the Honda guy is going to be talking his car up as much as possible, and he's going to tell you probably over exaggerate what's wrong with Fords, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that what we need in society is we need something like a Carfax, and like, what does a Carfax do when you're reading a Carfax? Is it going to be telling you like this car is exhilarating? This car makes you feel full of life. This car makes you feel like a real American hero. What's on a Carfax?
It's like miles and all
It's
that.
autistic, boring, in the weeds, discreet. Like here's the VIN, motorcycle accident, 2017, repair shop, oil changes. Like, oh my God, who cares? But we like Carfax because they are accurate. And they have a history, a record of accountability. Go ahead.
That's not what sells cars. It's the salesman telling you it'll make you thrilling and it'll make you cool and it'll get you women.
Yeah. So the issue is what has to happen is in a world right now where the Carfax is really fucking boring. What I need, what I want, what I would want to be, or I would have a media company doing, whatever. I don't know. That's what I'm being trying is I need a really entertaining, funny person to be the guy that's selling the Carfax. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want somebody to do or be, and I don't see that. Yeah, but right now in the world, it's just a bunch of car salesmen that are selling their own cars, and then people are trying to tell me why their car salesman is better than the other car salesman. But at the end of the day, anything that they tell me about that car salesman, like, well, this guy is incentivized to lie about the seatbelt safety in his car, or causing wars like the military-industrial complex, well, that other guy could be lying about, the seatbelts in his car, or it could be a billionaire who owns, companies that sell weapons of war. I need more people that are willing to go to the actual raw data, analyze it, and then dump it into the public in a way that's entertaining, that people like to watch. That's like that's a very, very difficult thing to do. And when you talk about like, well, what makes a good salesman, all of those things that make a good salesman, these are the things that a liar looks to emulate, right? If you've ever known a good manipulator, okay, a good BPD girl, a good narcissistic man or whatever, these people don't meet people on first impression. Oh, I fucking hate you. Oh, you fucking horrible person. Nobody manipulates a person that way. Nobody becomes obsessed with a person that way. The obsessive part is always when we first met, like it was magic and they used to be so wonderful and whatever. Like at the very least,
bombing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Love bombing is like one of the most important parts, right? You can't just hate bomb somebody constantly. Nobody would be obsessed with you. Everybody would just fucking hate you, right? Nobody knows a manipulator who's like, oh, that guy who smells weird all the time and always calls people racial slurs. No, they're going to be like the guy that's like really nice to you sometimes in private, right? Yeah.
Sure.
So the only issue that I have, all this to say, it was a long way of basically saying, the only issue I have with your heuristic is that while it can be a good heuristic for detecting honest actors, those are exactly the types of heuristics that dishonest actors are looking to exploit, and you have to figure out some way to differentiate between the two. And it can't just be they are charming, they are charismatic, and they're doing, the way that they present themselves, they seem so earnest, because that's exactly what a con man does, right? Con men are not, nobody says like, oh, wait, well, one of the weird things about Hitler, to do the Vosh thing, right? One of the weird things about Hitler is like in all of his speeches, he was such a loser and nobody liked listening to him talk, and like, man, he was just so unpopular, but somehow he became the leader, right? It's always the exact opposite. So that's what you have to work on, is how do you differentiate between the two? And that comes down to some raw accounting of fact, right? What are the predictions that these people made? Do they have a record of making good predictions? Are they doing good analysis on this particular problem? If we look up the facts, the Carfax, does it actually match the things that they're saying? And so like that's what we kind of did with Vivek here, is we pulled the Carfax. Okay, well, he's saying these things about the Department of Education. Do they match 100%? Like varying degrees or whatever. But that's not really satisfying, but it's just a thing.
No, that's fair.